On today's podcast, I had the one and only Stephan on, and if you don't know who he has over 3.5 million subscribers on his main YouTube channel. He is absolutely killing it, and he's been the pioneer for finance and YouTube. I talk about his career, we talked about how he's evolving into owning different businesses, and we also go over, which to me was the most important part, how he creates a video. You will not believe the process that goes into making just one video, and I'll give you a hint. It's over 20 hours of work. So we go from step by step how he's doing it. And if you're interested in being a content creator, you are definitely going to want to see that conversation. And we also talk about what his career would be if he wasn't doing YouTube. You don't want to miss that. So without further ado, let's jump into the podcast. Are you looking to grow your real estate investing business? My company, Future Flipper, can help. We've taught hundreds of people all over the country how to flip, wholesale, and buy rental properties. And it doesn't matter where you're at in your investing journey. Whether you're trying to get your first deal or scale your company, Future Flipper can help. We have courses, coaching, and events for all levels of investors. So if you want to take the next step, go to futureflipper.com and book a free consultation to see how we can best help you. Once again, that's futureflipper.com. If you've ever wanted to invest with me on my real estate deals, it's now possible. At Pineda Capital, we're purchasing value-add real estate all across the country. This includes multifamily, commercial, and land development. The best part is, with my network, social media presence, and marketing strategies, we're able to get the very best deals that others don't have access to. You can join in with me on those deals if you're an accredited investor. If you want to learn more, head over to pinedacapital.com to see our current opportunities. Once again, that's pinedacapital.com. Welcome to the Ryan Pineda Show, where our mission is to invest.
I only expect to make money in things that I understand.
Innovate.
It's about believing in the future and thinking that the future will be better than the past.
And inspire. I am much more likely to hit my goal just due to putting it out there.
You're now rocking with the best.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Ryan Pineda Show. Today, we have a very special guest, somebody who has influenced me quite a bit. I would not be on YouTube if I did not ever see this guy's video, and I've had the luxury to meet him in person and become friends, and even help him move to Vegas now. Yep. So, man, what's up, Graham?
Thank you so much. That's right. You did help me move to Vegas. Yeah,
yeah, dude. So, by the way, your house is beautiful now. I saw you guys put in the pool. You guys have decorated it. Got a lot of cool stuff going.
Yeah, we got a 13-foot Christmas tree from Home Depot. It's massive.
Yep.
So I had to stand on the very top shelf of the ladder, which is so scary. I don't know if you've ever done that before, but being like 10 feet, well, no, I wasn't 10 feet up. I was probably like 7, 8 feet up in the air.
Yeah.
On that little top shelf. It was terrifying.
Dude, you got to hire somebody to do that. No. Did you build the tree yourself?
What do you mean build it? Grow the tree myself?
Oh, it's a live tree.
Yeah, it's a live tree.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, that's not a fake tree. You got to get the live trees because the smell.
Yeah.
Walk in, the whole house smells.
The smell is great. But I don't think you didn't have one last year, did you? When we went to the New Year's party?
Not in Vegas, no.
Yeah. But now you got that Christmas feel.
Yeah.
I love it, dude. So for those of you listening, if you don't know who Stephan is, he's got 3.5 million subscribers on YouTube, just on his main channel. Mm. You get probably what? How many total?
4.5.
Yeah,
probably. Yeah, probably about 4.5.
Yeah, just absolutely crushing it, talking about finance, and I've had the luxury to be on his podcast twice, and we'll definitely link to those episodes below. But dude, man, like, I just want to say, first off, on air, seeing your success drastically made me want to get into YouTube. I started last year during the pandemic, and I'd never heard of you. I see one of your videos, and then you're like, man, I'm over here making this amount of money.
Which
on
video
AdSense.
is it? Was it that video?
Yeah, it was just one of these, how much I make per month.
Oh, it must have been how much I make with 2 million subscribers. I'm guessing. Probably around the time I posted that.
Yeah, and I was like, I want, because people were like, you should get on YouTube. And I'm like, dude, YouTube's stupid. Like, what? Why would I'm busy running businesses? And then I watched your video and I go, nope, YouTube is not stupid. Like, that is crazy. Yeah. So that's awesome, dude. And then to see what, about a year and a half later, almost double the subscribers, and you're branching out into other things like businesses, and it's been cool, dude.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone who has seen that video is all of a sudden like, I want to make YouTube videos now.
Dude,
it's
I was one of those guys.
wild. Yeah, yeah. I've had so many people texting me too, even just old real estate colleagues, that they saw that video or they saw one of those videos or they saw like the CNBC Millennial Money.
Right.
And all of them are like, hey, so if I start a YouTube channel, I'm like, it's not that easy. And
No.
very few people who have actually reached out have ever even posted a video. So I think it goes like they underestimate the amount of work. They just think, oh, I just post videos and I'll make hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
But oh gosh,
It's
a
way harder than
grind.
that,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, and I'll say, like, I studied before I started posting. Like, I knew, I'm like, dude, building a channel with millions of subs ain't easy. You know, it took you years, and that was fast compared to everyone else, right? Like, and I'm just like, man, okay, if I'm gonna do this, I need to treat it like a business. I need to study the craft of what being a YouTuber is, not just. I think most people, they go buy a camera and then just start talking without any kind of research or anything else. So I actually took your course, which was very helpful. And it's funny because at the time I remember taking it, and when you made that course, you might have had like 300,000 subs or something. And to see your video of like, hey, I got 2 million subs, I'm like, okay, whatever he's telling me at 300,000 definitely applies to get to 2 million.
That was the thing that a lot of people, I don't want to say they complained about it, but they mentioned, because I made that program, I think it was like, about 2 years ago. It was 300,000 subscribers. And I laid out my blueprint. And in those videos, I'm like, I'm at 300,000 subscribers now. And people are like, well, it's not going to work anymore because now you have 3.5. I'm like, I've been doing the same thing. And that's why people are shocked to hear that, like, I still have the same equipment. Until recently, it was just me. And I've done everything on the main channel. I mean, that's just 100% just been myself. Like, nothing has changed.
Right.
And so that's why it's like when the income goes up, my workload doesn't go up. The same thing today as I did 4 years ago, except now I'm getting more views. That's the only difference. So everything that I said in that video is still true today. It's just, it doesn't change.
Well, yeah, and I tell people that too. Like, at the end of the day, the most successful people, just, there's no secret. Like, they just do the same thing consistently over and over again. Like, you don't miss videos. You know, like, you get a video, you get all your videos out, always on schedule. You've been doing that for the last, 4 years?
It'll be 5 years.
5 years.
December 26th, it'll be 5 years.
Yeah, and there's no secret to that. It's just like, dude, you were disciplined to putting it out 5 years straight, you know, not missing a beat. And in the early stages when you didn't know if it was going to be a career or anything, you just stuck with it, right?
I loved it. It was fun. It was like, it would be like going to the gym. It's just, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So for me, it was, I was going to do it regardless.
Right.
So it didn't
made
matter
money,
if I was
great.
making money. Yeah, yeah.
And then the moment it started making money, it's like, hey, maybe I should like really make this another level, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought the course was great. And like you said, it doesn't matter how many subs you had at the time. Like, all the same principles still apply.
Yep.
You know, create a good title, create a good thumbnail, be quick to, you know, get them in the hook. And it's not rocket science. It's just figuring out your voice and, you know, how to create great topics.
Yeah, especially in the beginning, SEO is so important. And that, I mean, of course it changes a little bit here and there, but overall, it's like if you want to rank for real estate, the same principles apply to rank for real estate, but you got to make your video a little bit better than everyone else's. So I've always just taken the approach that you watch everyone else, you type in real estate, what are the top 10 results? Watch their videos and then make yours even better.
Right.
So that when someone clicks yours, they're going to watch for longer, they're going to subscribe, they're going to like the video, they're going to engage with it, and keep doing that.
Yeah. My take has always been, and tell me if you agree or not, is like, you obviously, if you're coming up in YouTube, and this was true for me, like, you don't want to try and do what, you know, you do or Kevin does or, you know, one of these other guys. Like, it's great to watch their videos and learn, but, you know, if you're going to try and make the same exact content, they're just going to watch you. Like, what's the point of watching some new guy who has no, you know, following yet or anything else? So it's like, I think if you're going to get in the space, whether your niche is real estate or stocks or, you know, any niche, you have to be like different in some way. Do you agree?
Yes and no. So it's complicated for me because I feel like when I first started, there's nobody in the finance space. And I got in thinking I was too late, that YouTube is already saturated. But I was like, well, there's not a lot of finance content, so like maybe that could, you know, I could just talk about that and I'll be able to stand out because maybe there are like 5 people making videos on finance. That was it.
Right.
The big guys were like Ty Lopez and Grant Cardone.
Those were the only finance guys?
That had any sort of following. Gary Vee, kind of, but his was more of like the hustle entrepreneur. For real estate, it was only Grant Cardone. Patrick bet David a little bit, but that was really it. I mean, there were a few big guys on there with like big teams. And so my approach was, well, I'm going to take the opposite of that. I'm just a guy making videos for fun. I don't have a business. I have nothing to sell. It's just it's what I enjoy talking about. And that there's only a few people on YouTube at the time that were doing that. Now I see the people who basically just take my video and copy it, but they don't do as good of a job on it. And so those videos just never take off. But I've also seen channels gain a lot of success, like a ton of success. Sometimes even they get even more views than my videos do.
Right.
And I'm not going to call anybody out, but they'll basically take my video, paraphrase the entire thing, take almost the exact title, almost the exact thumbnail, except with their face on it. And their videos will do better than the videos that I did. And their content is like almost the same thing. But that's just the nature of YouTube. So it's like, I look at that and I'm like, I don't like, hate on it, but I look at that and be like, how did that video do better? Did they have better watch time? Was this appealing to their audience a little bit more? Did they make it funnier? So I watched those videos and I'm like, well, maybe I could remake mine, do mine a little bit better. So So it's possible, but like if you take inspiration from someone else's video, you have to make it better. Because otherwise, then it's just you're wasting your time.
Right. You're going to have to tell me off camera who the copycats are. I need, for studying purposes.
Sure, yeah,
I need
sure.
to see how they're doing it better. No, I like that, man. And I think it's interesting because, you mentioned real estate and other stuff. And when guys like you and Meet Kevin were coming up, like you guys were kind of the pioneers of being the, like you said, just the guys making content, right? You're not like this big company like Grant Cardone or Gary Vee. You guys were just normal dudes who made content. You enjoyed it. And then, in turn, it's made you guys ultra successful. But what I noticed about you and Kevin was you guys started out as real estate guys and then slowly transitioned to being just more broad news-based stuff. Like, tell me about that evolution.
Yeah, well, when I first started making YouTube videos, I was full-time real estate agent with the Oppenheim Group, and that was all I would talk about because I'd work all day as a real estate agent. I would look for rental properties to buy on the side, and I would make videos on things that I knew about, which was credit card churning, real estate, and real estate investing. That was all my content. But I realized pretty quickly that, within about a year, that it wasn't just real estate was too small. And if I wanted to continue growing, there was only an audience of maybe, a few 100,000 people at the very most who wanted real estate. And that was it. And a lot of the content with real estate is so evergreen that it's not like I could make a real estate video, 3 times a week. Like, here's real estate, real estate, real estate. It's just doesn't change.
Yeah.
Right. So even for me, even making one real estate video a week is a lot because it's just nothing changes.
Right.
So I realized that it's not just like real estate. It's then what do you do with the money that you make from real estate? And then that's where I got into the whole like financial independence space. And then when I was doing like the retire early stuff, then it became, not just about retiring early. It's then about having the freedom. How do you get the freedom? Well, that's passive income. So then I would talk about passive income. And then it's what do you do with that passive income, or how could you transition that? And then it's also the stock market or how to build wealth, personal finance tips. And basically, the more broad I went, the bigger the audience grew. And so I didn't want to just be like the real estate guy or the stock guy or anything. I just figured anything involving money, because that at the end of the day it's money.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, and I could definitely see that in my own channel. Like, I think I've got 160,000 subs now, and I do feel like I've hit the cap for kind of like what real estate is for the most part, and so, the decision I've been thinking about is like, okay, what's the next path do I want to take? Do I want to, go ultra broad and, try and talk about, current events and news and other stuff? And then I just realized I'm like, yeah, I just don't want to do it. Like, I just don't want to research and, stay up to date with like what's happening. I'm like, if I can't script the video in 5 minutes, I don't want to make it. Like, that's just kind of like my MO now. So I don't know. I've kind of just transitioned into documenting my life, kind of like what Gary Vee does, where I'm just like, I bought this house, I bought this apartment, or started a new business, or, we did this. And it's probably not like the best approach to grow huge, but what I've seen is just like, 160,000 isn't like a small number, but I've seen that the niche makes it so that with my businesses, like, they're really devoted and loyal.
Yeah. I've noticed that basically, unless you F up, 5% of your audience is going to watch whatever you post. So you could post like a pile of dog crap. And 5% of people, this is the best content I've ever seen. Like, they'll love it. So if you cater to that 5%, sure, it's really hard to grow that 5%. And usually to grow that 5%, you have to make the broader content that appeals to new people. You cast a new net.
Yeah.
And, of those 100 people, 5 more are going to join that group.
Right.
So
you're really, so you're just really depending on the 5% of your audience. You're like, dude, I can bank those views. And
well, in a way, I've almost got like that. Like it sounds like a sales funnel of like YouTube channels, where the main channel, I have a really dedicated audience, especially in the comments section, which is something that I'm so proud of because I've spent for the first. I answered every comment up until I hit 1 million subscribers, and I made it like it was almost like an OCD compulsion where I wouldn't go to bed until I answered all the comments, and I wouldn't get out of bed in the morning until I answered all the comments. And so I would wake up an hour early every morning on my phone. I'd stay in bed just answering comments. Go to bed answering comments. That was it. So we cultivated a really great community between myself and like everyone who comments. But from that main channel, then we also have the second channel, the Stephan Show, which is just reactions. Because I looked up to like Cody Co, and I loved his reactions that he would do. I thought it was so funny. So I thought, well, if I could apply that to finance content, then I could build out that audience too. So then I've noticed a transition from like some of the main channel go to the second channel. And then we started the podcast. And then we noticed, oh, wow, some of the people from the main channel, second channel, are then funneling into the podcast.
right.
And then from the podcast, we got, the Stephan vlog channel, which I'm still trying to figure out what's going on with that. But we had this funnel where it's like you distill the audience more and more and more, and then the Stephan is really like the core people.
Yeah.
Where,
if you watch the Stephan, you're like a fan.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
So we usually get anywhere from like 20 to 50,000 views a video on the Stephan, and those are the people who will watch it. I don't want to say we'll watch anything, but just care about you enough to see what's going on in your personal life.
Right.
But so, my strategy on YouTube is basically to whatever you're interested in, hopefully, if it's personal finance related, you enjoy some part of it. A lot of people say, listen, I've outgrown the main channel. I figured I've known everything on there. I've extracted all the data that I could learn from that, but I loved the Iced Coffee Hour because I hear a new perspective on things, and every guest has a different story. So we really like that. And funny enough, it seems like the Iced Coffee Hour, it's a lot of big YouTubers watch the Iced Coffee Hour. Like, I was shocked to hear that like Zach King listens to the Iced Coffee, like that's a part of his like Sunday routine. Same with like FaZe Rug, who mentioned like he listened to that. I was like, what? Like, I couldn't believe it. Or like Tanner Fox, they'd listen to the Iced Coffee Hour. Blown away. And I'm sure if we really go into the numbers, it's like how many people really watch the Iced Coffee Hour just because it's like they feel like they get a different perspective on things. So
Yeah, and I think, looking at the Iced Coffee Hour, how many subs do you have on it now?
206.
206. So, like, I think if you looked at, I guess, your most valuable subscribers, they're probably on the Iced Coffee
Yes.
Hour. Yeah. Because, that's something that we look at in business, too, is like, you're always looking at demographics and other things. And in business, that's how you choose where to put your time. It's like, hey, where's the most valuable use of my time? And I was thinking that, with podcast, I've seen it even with my own that, if somebody's willing to sit through an hour, they're pretty devoted. And also, too, having all these cool guys you have on and cool people, like, they know that, hey, you know what? It's just not all about Graham now. Like, I know what Graham thinks on a lot of things, but I love to hear, so-and-so on this.
Right. And honestly, none of that would have been possible without the credibility of the main channel.
Right.
Or using that to kickstart it. Because had I started up the Iced Coffee Hour, just like, hey, brand new to YouTube, here's the Iced Coffee Hour, first of all, no one would come on. And especially in the beginning, we purposely would have on people that we knew would appeal to YouTube, that people would know them. They would click on their names. They had an interesting story. And, even now we're still in a growth phase where if we want to continue at that trajectory, we have to be strategic about who we have on.
Right.
So we pre-screen a lot of our guests to make sure that we have the right people on at the right times.
Right.
So that we don't falter.
Yeah, I think with what you guys are doing with the podcast, most of them are kind of YouTubers or, I think you guys have had a few people that aren't really on YouTube, but to me, it's like, okay, this is definitely the spot if you want to hear like YouTubers raw, and see how they really think and other things. Because, right, when you make a 10-minute video, you're not getting like the full personality of somebody. It's more like, to me, a script, and it's like acting versus the podcast is very real. And you're like, oh, like that's how that guy naturally is. It's usually different than a 10-minute video where you got to like hype yourself up and like get going.
Yeah. But it's also very interesting that a lot of those people want to talk about money and business, but they can't on their platform because it's so different. So imagine if someone like, so-and-so is, has a channel that appeals to millions of people. They can't say, hey, guys, here's how much money I make, because that's not their style.
It's not their demographic.
But on the Iced Coffee Hour, they could talk about all of those things because it's someone else asking them those questions, and it just comes up in context.
Yeah. So when are you going to get Mr. Beast on the Iced Coffee Hour, dude?
We'll have to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. His schedule is so busy, though.
That dude's crazy.
So we had his manager on, who was amazing. But, we got to get him on. But the thing is, too, I look at this, and Colin and Samir did a podcast with Mr. Beast so well. Sometimes I look at that, I'm like, geez, if I can't make mine better, then, what's the point? And so sometimes I see other people's videos, I'm like, that was a perfect video. I can't do it better than that, so I'm not going to do it.
Well, you can ask him about, his Squid Game video. Like, there's new updates on what he's doing. That was crazy, by the way.
Yeah.
I can't, that broke YouTube's record, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. What was 100 million views in 48 hours? It was crazy. I think it was that got more views the first week than the actual Squid Games on Netflix. But then again, you can't compare, 8 hours of content with 20 minutes.
Right.
But still, just for Mr. Beast to do with a month worth of work on a fraction of the budget and get more views overall is just incredible.
Yeah. Somebody was telling me Squid Games was or Netflix was trying to sue him or something. I don't know if that's true.
I didn't hear any of that. I wouldn't be surprised if because he's Mr. Beast. I bet anyone would be like, hey, I'm going to sue just because he's Mr. Beast. And what? It's so
from my perspective, it's like, dude, he just brought Squid Games even more attention.
I agree.
Like, that was free marketing, 100 million views.
Well, that's how I feel about a lot of music, too. Like, I think a lot of, how SoundCloud was really big. Well, I think TikTok is going to be like the next big segue for a lot of musicians. And it seems like on YouTube, they're like, you can't use that because that's my music. You can't, it's great promotion. It's like,
dude, you could, if you're a no-name musician, if you get one song that goes viral on TikTok, you're known.
You've made your career. And if you could continue that, oh gosh, just the billions of views that you could get every month. Like there's one, a Madonna remix of her song Frozen. And gosh, this guy blew up on YouTube. He's got millions of subscribers now. And he blew up because of his remix of Madonna on TikTok that everyone is using now when they go to these really cool locations or they're running off a cliff. And it's Madonna's Frozen remix.
Well, what's funny is, obviously people are getting really famous on TikTok, out of nowhere, right? You see Addison Rae, she just signed, did a movie on Netflix. You see Bella Poarch and, they're making music now, right? Yeah. But it's funny because I think the very first person to really go viral on a platform and make a huge career out of it was Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber got found on YouTube. Yeah. He was just, singing some song, and Usher saw him, and then boom. And I remember hearing that story, he was 12, 13 years old.
Like that, yeah.
And it's just dang, he got found on YouTube. And back then, that was a crazy thing.
Yeah.
And then now today, it's oh, well, of course, that's how you get found.
Yeah.
So,
but I could see that happening on TikTok. I think especially with musicians. I think that I don't think it's been an easier time for music, but in terms of going from nothing to 100 really quickly.
I agree. It is the easiest time to be a musician because you don't need management the way you used to go sign a deal and, make things happen. Dude, you just put your stuff out to the world and you're going to get people stomping at your door. I remember too, this was 10 years ago. Drake was like one of the first guys to really do that. I remember he put out his mixtapes. It was like 2008, 2009. And I remember hearing his mixtapes. I'm like, this guy is cool. And then I remember there was this huge frenzy of like, you know, Lil Wayne and Rick Ross and all these guys trying to sign him. And he didn't have to go the route of like all these other guys where they signed for pennies. He's like, dude, you guys are about to pay me a boatload of money, like off the bat.
Yeah. The only difference now is that I feel like musicians also have to be great marketers. And if Drake didn't have Degrassi, would he have still had the same success? Because that at least got him through the door. Because I remember hearing his first few songs and be like, oh, that's Drake from Degrassi?
Right.
What?
Yeah.
And I was like, but the music's good. How is he able to do this?
Yeah, because he
And,
just
like,
plays such a nerdy guy on.
Yeah.
He's like, this guy's a rapper?
But he was able to use that as like his catalyst to getting in a lot of these places. So I feel like now as a musician, like you need that little boost, or you need to be good at marketing. 'Cause
100%.
otherwise, it's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah. And the thing I always tell people is like content is marketing, right? Like you're marketing something, whether you're trying to get people to subscribe and get more views, or whether you're marketing your business, or you're marketing, you know, your company so people can come work for you. Like there's always something that your video is trying to market to. And so it's like understanding what you're trying to do with all your content. But I think, speaking of TikTok, you and I had this conversation when we first met. You know, when was this? This was, I think,
You gave me my viral video, man. I went from nothing. Well, not nothing. I think I had like a few thousand followers on TikTok to 250,000 within like a few days.
Yeah, we
Because
made a
of
bet
your
live.
video.
Yeah, I was like, show people what you make on YouTube, and I guarantee you're gonna get millions of views. And how many views did it get?
17 million views.
17
you,
million.
You said 1 million views.
I
It
said
did
at least 1 million.
Yeah, and it did 17 million views.
That's crazy,
Yeah.
dude.
Give
So,
you should just give me an idea. What's your next idea? What should I do on TikTok?
well, you know what's funny is like my TikTok has changed. You know, when I first met you, I was trying to build my TikTok platform, and so every day I filmed 2 TikToks a day, and I edited them myself on the phone. I just did them selfie style, whatever. And that built me up a few 100,000 followers. And I was like, dude, I'm like kind of burnt out of this. And luckily I started doing the podcast. And so I found a really good guy who could cut up my podcast and then just make them into TikToks. And so for like the last 500,000 followers, I haven't even made TikToks. They're just cut up the best conversations.
How many do you have now on TikTok?
Like 920.
Are you serious? Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
Yeah. So we're almost at 1 million. The goal is to get to 1 million by the end of the year.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and it's literally without really any effort. I'm sure that there's going to be a TikTok that we do from this podcast that's going to do over 1 million views. It's probably this conversation right now.
Maybe. We'll see, guys. Prove me wrong.
Make sure you guys share this video on TikTok. But yeah, so I don't do much thinking on like TikTok ideas anymore because the team just kind of takes the best clips. But I would say for you, man, like, the funny thing about TikTok, you kind of mentioned it with YouTube earlier of like somewhat copying, you know, successful videos and stuff. You already had a 17 million view video. Just do it again. Do an update.
Oh, geez. Really?
Yeah.
I'm worried this is like the same thing, but maybe not.
Yeah, but that was like over a year ago.
Right.
If you just do it again,
Yeah.
I guarantee you,
It's the same though.
Million
Like,
plus.
My income's the same.
people don't know that. People have never seen that video. It's old now. Just like you remake
Gosh.
videos on YouTube, you know, a year later with an update. This is an update.
All right. All right. You think another 1 million views?
At least 1 million.
Oh, come on.
But
Okay.
but now you have like a high ceiling to break. You know, you got to beat 17 million.
All right.
So I think TikTok's great. I'm just curious, like, why you haven't put more effort into it. Because like you're saying, like, I believe in it, and then at the time, I think over a year ago, you were like, I don't care.
Yeah, no, I really believe in it. You know, it was who really kind of solidified that was Erica Kohlberg. I'm sure
Yep.
if you've seen her content, but yeah, she had that one like, you know, where did you learn about this? I learned about it from Erica.
Yeah.
Subscribe for more, like something like that. And now everyone copies that format, but her video got like 60, 70 million views. She's gone from nothing to 5.5 million followers on TikTok, from nothing to, you know, what was it, 1 million Instagram followers.
Right.
It's nuts. But seeing that she found a format that works and just continued it, for me, it's just, I don't know. I have a hard time getting into it. And for me, it's all about like what I'm interested in. I don't spend a lot of time on TikTok.
Right.
I'm just not that excited about it. Like, I know I should be. It's like, you should be going to the gym every day. Like, it's the good thing to do. I just can't get into it. I don't know why. There's a block that just
You know what's
can't
funny
do
is,
it. Yeah.
so I was hanging out with Erica at FinCon in Austin, Texas, before she blew up, and she was asking me about TikTok and business and stuff. Her and I've been doing some different business things, and she posted that first video, and I think she had like 250,000 followers. And she texts me, and she's like, dude, this is crazy. Like, I went from 0 to 250 in like a week. Yeah. And I took a look at it because I'd seen it, and I go, literally just remake that video over and over again. And I was like, I guarantee you're going to be over 1 million in a month. Mm-hmm. But she like shattered what I thought.
I know.
And it's funny just like seeing it. I'm like, and that was the point, is like, dude, when you get a successful video, just literally remake it over and over again. Like, that's all these TikTokers do, and to a degree, I mean, it's what YouTubers do too. It's like, I remember watching Kevin when he started blowing up last year. He makes a stimulus video, and then, he makes another one and another one. And he's like, he took it to the extreme of like, I'll just make 5 of these a day. And I'm like, dude, that's literally how you take that idea of just doing the same thing over and over and just dominating.
That's true. Part of me, it's just, I've gotten to a point now where I feel like repeating myself. I'm getting
You're bored.
And I can't bring myself to do. I know I should, and you know what? For you, I'm gonna do it again on TikTok.
Do it, dude.
So for you,
I'm gonna share it.
I'll do it.
We're gonna blow it up.
So I'll do that. The only TikTok idea that I was actually excited about, and this might be super lame. Be honest with me about this idea, but because I got this like 13-foot Christmas tree, it's crazy when you actually like get side by side. Like it doesn't show well on camera. But I've got everybody's reaction coming in the house, like, oh wow, that's great. Like, and I got like 5 reactions like that. So I thought it would be fun to do a TikTok about the biggest Christmas tree that I could find. Show the reactions. Oh wow, before I showed the tree. Then show the tree with like everyone standing next to it, looking up, and I don't know if that. And I thought like around the holidays it might do, but maybe that's boring. I don't know. Be honest. Maybe that's.
I've seen anything go viral on TikTok, especially Christmas season. So I think you'd have to do it pretty soon, though.
Yeah,
Christmas is
I would
coming
do
up.
it this week.
Yeah, I like the idea. I think though you can make the YouTube video in 5 minutes, and it's going to get millions.
But what could I do beyond the YouTube video?
You know what I would do, dude?
Yeah.
2 different things. One, I think you could just copy me and just repurpose what you've already got. Right? Just find a guy who's really good at taking your existing content and turning it into TikToks. That way it doesn't really take any more time out of your day. And it's exactly what I did. The second thing I think you could do is just kind of take the key points from your YouTubes and make them into 1 minute, because, like a lot of times, right, there's like 3 bullet points.
Yes.
Just hit them in 1 minute. The market's doing this. Here's why, whatever, right? Watch this to see what stock you should pick. And then you do it. You just take, because now you're not even creating a new idea. You're just making 2 versions of it, the 10-minute and the 1 minute.
Are TikToks ever evergreen? Like, let's say 5 passive income ideas to make $1,000 a month. Is that the video that I could make once and then it just keeps getting recommended? Or is it like you post a video, gets pushed for a week, it's done?
Well, there's no SEO like there is on YouTube where people can go search for that video. You're just banking on the algorithm showing it. And the algorithm does show videos from months ago. Mm-hmm. I'll have videos that, whatever, they got a certain amount of views, and then I'll look at them a month or 2 later. I'm like, how did this get so many views? It just went viral. And so that can happen, but it's just not search-based.
Got it. So I would need to continually remake content to get it pushed.
Right.
Okay.
But I think, too, and this is my opinion, is that TikTok, when you have people like Erica and stuff who like really have a viral video, your next videos, they're just going to like push it out.
Yes.
Because they know. And, you had the 17 million one. And so like, I think to me, and I don't know for sure, but I think TikTok has a tab of, people that they want to see succeed. And I think you'd probably be one of those people. And And I actually had a TikTok expert on here that was talking about this. He was like, yeah, internally, TikTok has said like a lot of things about the algorithm that whereas YouTube's like very mysterious, TikTok is very forthcoming with like what they want to see. And we were talking about it on the podcast. Like they have like a beauty filter. Like they know when there's an attractive person making content and they like want to push that. So it's crazy, dude.
You know what? We could try this, you and I, if you're interested, but I did a video with Zach King, and this is the last video I did on TikTok. It did 1.6 million views, and all I did, and I just went up, I said, Zach, how much money do you make? And he answered it, and then he basically showed me his TikTok thing, which was kind of cool, where part of me thinks it went viral because of how low the amount was. I think it was like $5 to $20 or like $5 to $15 a day.
Yeah.
For Zach King. And so maybe it was that. But maybe that's a cool format. Hey, how much money do you make? Like, you know, the car guy was in Daniel something.
Daniel Mac.
Yeah. What do you do for a living?
Yep.
Maybe mine could be like, hey, how much money do you make?
You should. I mean, you should just ask. And it doesn't have to be on TikTok. It could be you asking the YouTubers. It could be you asking TikTok, whatever, right?
Yeah.
I think that's tight. That's a good idea.
Okay.
And I mean, you have the YouTubers come to your studio anyway for the podcast. Every time you do a podcast, just bust out a TikTok after. Have you ever wanted to invest in real estate, but you didn't have the time to find deals yourself? That's where Fundrise comes in. Fundrise is a crowdfunding platform that has transacted over $5 billion in real estate and has over 150,000 active investors. While many funds, like my own, require accredited investors, Fundrise allows anyone to invest with as little as $500. If you'd like to learn more, check out fundrise.com. Once again, that's fundrise.com. Are you looking to find off-market real estate deals? One of the best tools my team uses is Batch Leads. With Batch Leads, you're able to pull data, manage lists, and send text messages. On top of that, you can get nationwide access to the MLS to get pictures and comps. My team has used Batch Leads to get some of our best deals, so I know it works. If you want to start today, you can get half off your first month by going to batchleads.io and using the promo code Ryan. Once again, that's batchleads.io, promo code Ryan for half off your first month. Now, back to the show.
Yeah, I should have done that.
Yeah. There you go. There's your idea. One a week.
Gosh, you know what's crazy? I missed the opportunity. Stella Berry, she was on OnlyFans, or is on OnlyFans, but she was making about $200,000 a month.
That's crazy.
And I missed the opportunity to do a TikTok. That would have been
good.
Man. Oh wow.
But now you know.
Didn't think about it. Yeah.
Every single one. And those TikToks are easy. Like you don't need to like do heavy editing or anything. Just like how much do you make?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
All right.
Yeah, I like that idea for you, dude. So let's transition a little bit, man.
Right.
So obviously, you know, you've made your mark doing content and, you know, that's served you obviously really well. And now you're starting to transition into starting businesses and investing in businesses. So tell me about like what those businesses are and how you're doing them.
Yeah, the first one was Yada Bank. That was like an angel investment. And that was just a company that I saw a video on YouTube, and I thought they were so cool, so I downloaded it, and I loved it, and I used it myself. I reached out to the creator with Ask Sebi, and I told him, hey, I watched your video on it. I love it. It's such a cool company. Like, thanks for the recommendation. And he put me in touch with the creator of the company. Turned out they were raising one of their early rounds of funding, and I was like, I want in on this. And so that was my first experience investing in something like that. And Ask Sebi really was so helpful, like walking me through it because it's so different than anything else. But that's what got me really excited. Like, wow, these are all these companies that like I could use and like that I enjoy, and I could put my money in them instead of in stocks or in real estate. It's just different.
Well, you're putting it into a company that you have, you know, knowledge in.
Yeah.
Like intimate knowledge.
Right.
So
I started doing that, and you know, I think I got like 5 or 6 of them now that I've just invested into. Some as little as like 10 grand. Others are, gosh, probably now in like the low 7 figures, just in various companies. But I really enjoyed that, and that was fun. And really around the same time as that, we started Bankroll Coffee, which you know, I love coffee, and my whole thing was I just want to sell not really cheap, but I want to sell coffee at cost that it's the cheap. I believe it's the least expensive coffee delivered to your door. We have free shipping over $35, which is basically like our low, or I think it's like $30, our lowest that we could go without actually losing money on the deal with free shipping. So, so we've been doing that. I mean, it's obviously not as cheap as going to the grocery store, but like considering that you're getting it shipped and it's a premium coffee, roasted in California and then just like shipped the next day. But that's been fun. And that's cool to have something like you put your own name on it. And that's all I drink now is my own coffee.
Right.
Which is cool. But people really like it. And so our goal is to grow the subscription base. So a lot of the coffee sometimes we'll sell at like a bit of a loss. Like we did a Black Friday deal where we sold our coffee at like $1 loss per bag at like $3.99 for a premium coffee. And our goal was that people would like it enough to then subscribe and get it on like a weekly or bi-weekly or monthly basis.
Yeah.
So we just want to grow the subscribers right now.
Yeah. So with growing the subscribers, obviously the business has more value and everything, even if it's not making money yet, right? The goal is like growth.
Yeah.
So do you guys plan to, grow it to a certain level before you're able to get economies of scale and start being more profitable?
Pretty much. Like, people pay a lot of money for marketing in the very beginning. Well, our marketing is basically, hey, let's just not make any money on it.
Yeah.
So it's a good pitch. The customer likes it because they're saving money. And for us, it's like, so what? Like, it's not like it's not life-changing if we're going to make an extra $1 a bag of coffee. So we may as well just give it back.
But once you have 100,000 subscribers, then it changes.
There'll be a point where, like right now, coffee prices are actually going up. So like we are forced to raise our prices. And I think I mentioned this in a video. And I was like, guys, like we're not going to raise our prices through the end of the year, even though it's now costing us like 70 cents a bag more, or it's like $1.30 a bag more. And I was shocked that everyone was like, Grant, raise your prices. Like like do this. I would gladly pay more. Stop.
Don't.
So,
yeah. Make a smart business decision.
Right, which I was shocked at. I thought everyone would be like, oh, Grant, thanks so much for not. But everyone was like, raise the price. I'll pay more. So that was good to hear.
Well,
but yeah.
And I've actually wondered this about you many times is like, I think obviously you've built this, I don't want to say caricature, but like of being cheap and like, being the guy who's not going to spend money and save and everything else. And it's made me wonder about, potential products and businesses and services you're going to have in the future, right? Like this is the first wave. And it kind of confirmed it of like, hey, we want to be the cheapest. Like that's the brand. We want to give the best value for the lowest price, do you, obviously, you're very concerned about like even raising it $1, right? And so how do you see that with like running businesses going forward between like wanting to represent, your personal brand well as being, I would call it the people's champ, versus, hey, dude, I got to make smart business decisions. Like this is not,
well, everything I've always started just because I've been really like obsessed and passionate with it. And they've always done well, like with the YouTube channel. Like I wasn't making any money for the first like really 2 years compared to what I was doing as a real estate agent, but I just liked it.
Yeah.
So I always just assume that if you have a good product and you're really into it, it's just naturally going to do well. So I've never really focused much on like making the smart business choices because usually I feel like the smart business choice is just to be really passionate about it. And if you are, then you'll do the things that tend to make more money. But yeah, no, there's got to be a point where we got to raise prices and or we got to build in a little bit more margin. Now we do have margin, like a good healthy profit on like accessories. So when people buy a mug, we have higher markups on mugs or like straws and different things like that. So
merch.
Right. So that's generally where like we'll make some money back is like we'll sell the coffee. The coffee could be a loss leader, but if they order the mug, and they spend over $30 with the free shipping, then we can
make
money that we could reinvest. But
it's like buying a new car with the warranty. They make their money on the warranty.
Right. So at some point, my goal is that like, if we get tens of thousands of people on a subscription, even if it's a small amount, spread that throughout so many people who have it on a recurring basis, would give us a lot more value and leverage.
Right.
And so at that point, either we just continue on that trajectory or, maybe partner with a bigger brand. I have no clue, but I just like to me, if it nothing happens with it, great. If something happens to it, and
It's
we
all
partner
gravy.
with someone else and they buy 50% of it. Cool.
Well, that's what I was thinking is like, eventually, if you guys do take it to the next level, you'll end up being acquired or you'll get some new, investors. And, at that point, they're going to want to make better business decisions, more profitable ones.
We don't want to raise any money because we don't need to.
Right.
So my thing is like the fewer people, the fewer cooks in the kitchen, the better. And if we don't need to raise money, if it's something we could do ourselves, which we could just do ourselves. So like there's no point raising money. But the hardest part for me is removing myself from the brand because right now it helps to sell if I'm the face of it, which fine. But eventually I would love for this to be a coffee brand. I don't think we're ever going to be in stores. It's just too expensive to be in stores. But like where people could go to bankrollcoffee.com and still buy coffee not knowing me. Like that would be the biggest compliment is that they have no idea
They just
who I
like
am,
the brand.
but they're like, oh, that's a cool bag of coffee. I saw it at someone's house because the packaging is really cool. I just wanted to buy it.
Yeah.
That was it.
I love that. I've thought about that too with my businesses. It's like, I am the face of all of them and I market for all of them. And, like with Future Flipper and education, I've thought about this and I'm like, man, at some point, if I ever wanted to step back, right? Like we have coaches and we have all these other things too, but like, could we, run efficiently without me having to market it, And so thinking about new strategies that aren't dependent on me is definitely what I've been thinking about as well.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's really tough.
Well, because we get all the free traffic anyway,
Yeah.
right? Like if we go buy Facebook ads with, our no name on it, just, hey, here's Future Flipper. It's a real estate education company. Here's Bankroll Coffee. It's a coffee company, but there's no Graham. There's no Ryan.
Yeah.
We already know it's not going to do as good.
No, I would look at like Grant Cardone at that because to me, he's like, especially for real estate, the biggest face of what he does. And you take him out of it. I don't know if Cardone Capital. Well, first of all, Cardone Capital, like you have to change the name then.
Yeah.
But I feel like if that were possible to do, he would have already done it. Maybe, but Grant is such an integral figure of that. Or Dave Ramsey has been trying to do that, and he's gone from the Dave Ramsey show to the Ramsey show, changing a lot of his stuff to the Ramsey Network. But now his children are kind of taking over it.
Well, I think when you look at those guys compared to you and I are both low 30s. I'm 32. You're 31. And, like, we're already thinking about it in our low 30s. Like, those guys have been using their name for longer than we've been alive, right? That's true. So for them, they're just kind of like, they've ridden it to the top, so you can't hate the strategy, And I don't even know that Cardone wants to have his name off anything. Like, he loves it,
Yeah, I agree.
Whereas Ramsey, I don't know, Dave, but, obviously he's making the moves to make it more like a legacy company, like friggin' Johnson & Johnson, like, yeah, Ramsey, he was some guy.
Yeah.
But now this is this financial education network. So it's interesting. But I think, man, there's just really nothing more powerful for a business than having, a personal brand behind it. I mean, Elon Musk is no different, right?
Yeah.
Like Tesla's only so valuable because Elon is the face. And if Elon were to resign tomorrow, what would happen to Tesla stock?
Yeah.
It'd be not
But
good.
you know what? Jeff Bezos walked away from Amazon. When Steve Jobs passed, Tim Cook took over, and those brands survived and excelled. Well, Amazon might be too soon, but at least with Apple,
Yeah.
I was shocked. And I thought originally, I was like, oh, when something happens to Steve Jobs, there goes the innovation. But Apple's continued to do well.
Yeah, they have.
And Tim Cook is really taking it in a good
I don't know that
direction.
their innovation is as good anymore because, I mean, I don't even know, other than the Apple Watch, other than improving the current.
Maybe they're just improving the car. But, I mean, if they do the cars, if they do self-driving autonomous cars, Apple cars,
That'd be sick.
I've been thinking Apple should have gotten in cars forever now.
Well, I think Apple's also, all these guys are focused on VR and the metaverse, so I think Apple's going to be at the forefront of that as well when it comes. But I think the only difference with Jobs and Bezos versus Musk is Musk has such a huge social media following that those guys weren't really active outside of their business. Like, everyone knows who they are, but it's like, does anyone really know Jeff Bezos' personality? Or, people know Elon's a character and this dude likes memes and he'll say whatever he wants and you never know. Like, he's unpredictable. Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes with them. But, Tesla obviously is doing pretty well. So whatever he's going to do, he just keep doing it.
I know.
So Yeah, man, it's pretty cool just seeing you transition into the business side. One thing that I'm curious about for your transition is, time continues to go on, is like, at what point do you think you'll start delegating more, and because I know you still do like almost everything yourself. I know you got Jack and Alex now who are fantastic, and that's allowed you to grow and get more time back. But like, do you ever see yourself being less attached?
No, I doubt it. I've been training Alex now to edit my main channel videos.
Yeah.
So for the last month, I've edited all the videos myself, but then I've paid him to edit the videos too.
Just to compare.
And then we compare side by side to see his edits versus mine, and we try to get them as similar as possible. So now he's started to edit my main channel videos. And, that's freeing up, 15 hours a week.
It's a lot.
I would say. Yeah, it is. It is. So that's allowed me to, like, do stuff like this.
Right.
Because Alex is editing a video that might post today right now. So it's nice, but I kind of miss having that that bit where it's like me, because the editing for me is really creative, and I just zone out and just kind of go through the motions, but you could add in your own little funny bits here and there. I still do that with Alex, but it's not the same. But Alex is able to put his own fun spin on things.
Right.
And
You're like,
I would
that was
say,
good.
Yeah, and I would say that, we spend probably 2 hours. So he edits a video for 8 hours, and I'll spend another 2 hours with him going over it myself.
You
and
guys spend 10 hours editing one video?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, his portion alone is 8 hours. He has not gotten that down yet. Eventually, he'll get good enough where he can do 5 hours, but, going over it again, and, like, every frame, I'm like, take that a little bit shorter, make that a little longer. Sometimes we'll drop the audio and extend it into the next clip so it doesn't sound like too abrupt of a cut. We'll put pictures over certain things, and I'll put my take on things. So we really try to craft it and make it, like, perfect.
Right.
But I don't know. Maybe eventually I'll get another person. It's just minor things. Like, sometimes I forget a lot of stuff. So if I could, like, snap my fingers and just pay someone to, like, remember everything for me, I would. But then it's managing another person, and then it's like, well, I may as well just do it at that point.
I know.
Yeah.
I'll attest to Graham's forgetfulness. I'll text him, and then, like, I'll get a text back later, like 2 weeks later. Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Yeah,
I forgot about this.
It sucks because I probably get like 30 to 40 texts a day. And it's like, and when I make the videos, I don't look at my phone. It's like, I'm
you're
very
in the zone.
strict about that. That the only people who get my attention really are, like, Jack, Macy, Alex. That's it. Like, even, I hate to say it, like, even my mom and dad, like, they'll like text during that, and I'll do my best to get back to them.
Right.
But, like, yeah, when I'm during the week and I have to, like, get these videos out, like, that's got to be the priority. Like, otherwise the video doesn't get done.
Right. But I mean, at the end of the day, for everyone listening, that is the level that it takes to be the best in your craft. At the end of the day, like, you've made it. You don't have to continue being so meticulous. Like, in my opinion, even if you spent 2 hours on a video, you would still do extremely well.
No. Yeah, I have to be more careful now.
Well,
because
but
I have to spend more time, but because so many people are watching.
Well, I would just say, like, my point is, you've only gotten to where you're at because you care that much about it, right? And so that you look at the greatest athletes, you look at the greatest businesses. We were just talking about Steve Jobs. He was famous for being so meticulous about every little detail of it. And for you to be that meticulous about your craft, your video is, your craft, and, every frame by frame, breaking it down, putting 10 hours still into these videos when you could just cash it in at this point, right? Like, that says a lot about why you got to where you're at.
Yeah.
So that's super cool, man.
Yeah, I don't think I could ever outsource to that point where I could walk away or just, like, get a script every day and just, like, say the script and leave and, like, trust somebody. Even all the titles and thumbnails I do myself still.
That's crazy.
Every single one of them.
Right.
Because it's got to be perfect. If there's any sort of error on a title or thumbnail that's not perfect, there goes the entire video. It's like, then the whole video is ruined.
Right.
So it's got to be perfect.
I'll say, I've thought about this too, is like, I'm kind of detached. Like, I take the totally opposite approach, mainly because I don't enjoy editing. I don't even know how. I don't know how to make a thumbnail. I can't do any of it anyway, nor do I want to learn. But when a video flops for me, I'm just like, whatever. Like, I filmed for 20 minutes and it didn't do good. Like, it is, but when you spend 10 hours editing it and everything and it flops, like, that's definitely devastating.
Oh, and that's just editing. That's not even including planning. There's probably another 8 to 10 hours of planning that go into each video with another probably 2 hours of filming.
That's crazy.
So there's a lot of work that goes into every single video that has to be perfect.
Walk me through the process. So for anyone listening, like, that's 20 hours to make one video. That's a full day, right? Actually, that's 2 days, really.
Yeah, that's why I could only post 3 a week.
Yeah. So how are, from start to finish, like, how are you getting the idea from conception to scripting?
Usually I'll wake up around like 7 a.m. Sometimes the earliest 6, latest 7:30, somewhere around there. But I'll spend the first 2 hours reading everything on the internet, like everything. And I do that listening to Meet Kevin's live stream. So
you're like absorbing all this information. Where do you like, what do you look at? What websites?
Well, I start with YouTube. So I'll listen to Kevin's live stream and I'll see what other people are posting on YouTube that day. Then I'll see what is getting recommended on my homepage on YouTube, because that's whatever YouTube is recommending at the time. So those are the topics it thinks that people want to see the most of.
Right.
So I'll look at that and I'll see like what people are posting, what's getting recommended right now by YouTube. Then I will go on CNBC. I'll scroll through every single article that they posted that day, like everything. Then I do the Wall Street Journal. Then I do CNN Money. Then I have this one website. I don't know what it is. I randomly came across it that aggregates all of the business articles online into one homepage.
Wow.
And there are updates every minute. And also, seriously, because you got to think, this aggregates information from like 20 websites and posts them all like consecutively when they post. So I just scroll through them and I'll just see like, does anything stand out to me that I think would be a good YouTube video or that's a cool topic. I'll go through Reddit. I'll see what people are talking about on Reddit. But just about 2 hours there where I just see what's going on in the day. And the worst days where it's like there's nothing going on and I got to get a video out.
Right.
So on those days, I usually have a backlog of like 10 video ideas where it's like I could post them at any point.
They're more evergreen.
Yeah, like today's video is one because there's not really that much going on over the weekend. So the top 5 credit cards to get for beginners in 2022. Like I've done one of those videos a year. And it's a good time to get that video out because there's otherwise not much going on. So I'll then revert back to an evergreen video. And usually by the time I'm done with that, something will happen in the market or there's something to talk about. And then I could make a video on that. So it's a lot of work just to pick the picking the topic is, I think, one of the hardest parts. Like once I have a topic, I could usually force myself to sit down and plan it out.
Right.
And it sucks because sometimes you're just not in the mood. It's just you sit there and you just
like I know.
An hour goes by and you got nothing done, and you get upset. You're just like, I just wasted an hour. Like I could have done all these things in an hour that I just sat here doing nothing.
Right.
And there are those times you just gotta suck it up. And usually what I've done is like I don't end my day until that video is planned. Like if I like what I'll do is I'll make like a to-do list, and even if it's just like Monday, plan a video. I do not end the day until I plan the video.
Right.
Like, it just doesn't happen. I'll always plan it. And sometimes if it's like 2 p.m. and I'm only like 10% through, and what I'll do is then I'll say, well, I'll reward myself. I'll get DoorDash sushi, like $60.
Yeah.
But I'll get that as my reward when I finish. And I'll always finish because I want the sushi.
Right.
And I don't think there's ever been a time where I've set a goal like that. I just haven't done it. You find a way to do it.
Yeah.
So I get it planned.
I think one principle I use is called Parkinson's law, which basically states that if you give yourself a certain amount of time, you will use that certain amount of time, right? So it's like, for me, if I said, hey, I got all day to do this one video, then I will take all day.
Yep.
It's like what kids do in school. They procrastinate till the very last minute. But like I literally don't have time to do all the content. So I'm like, hey, I literally got an hour to film this video. And so it makes my mind think like, okay, well, I only got an hour to script this thing out, come up with the idea, film it, and like, let's roll. And then like, that's what we do. And what you see is based on just kind of that thought process. And, you know, I think I could do way better videos if I devoted more time. But I'm like, dude, it's just not that important to me to like create the very best. I'm like, for me, I'm just like quantity over quality. I'm like Kevin at this point. Like, dude, just like, let's just talk. And, you know, it's just easier.
Yeah.
But to see like your process, you use a very similar reward system of like, hey, you know what? I got to finish by this time so I can order DoorDash, and then boom, it gets done all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So maybe you need to like start setting lunches for yourself. Like I'm going to have whatever lunch.
That slows me down.
Okay.
It's so weird. Anytime I eat like a meal, I just slows me down.
You just say
I can't do
intermittent
it.
faster?
Not really. I like the little snacks, like Cliff Bars.
Okay.
For me. So like in the morning, just Cliff Bar. Lunch, maybe just a really tiny salad.
Yeah.
That's it.
So you'll aggregate the news, you'll pick what the topic is, you'll spend all this time scripting it. How long does it take you to actually film?
Depends on the video and depends on how well I could speak. I'm sure, as you know, there's sometimes it's like you cannot pronounce words.
Right.
And you'll say the same sentence 20 times and you just can't get it right. So
how is it when you edit those where you're just like...
It's easy because I edit. I do the initial cuts myself based on the audio clips. So you could tell based on the audio. So let's say I spend 5 minutes trying to get like one paragraph. You just see all the times I try to say the same thing and I just go to the very end. So it doesn't add any extra time the more takes I do. It's just more time filming.
That shows my editing experience. I had no idea.
I don't listen to any of the takes. I just know the last time I say something is the one I'm going to use. So I'll keep saying it until I'm like, all right, that was the one.
Okay.
But yeah, some videos maybe an hour.
So
Other
you're like your
videos
15-minute videos on average, right?
15-minute video on average, an hour and a half. Because sometimes it'll take an hour, sometimes it'll take 2.5 hours. It just depends. Sometimes
and you'll just keep the camera rolling and you're just, trying to get the best take of it.
And sometimes it's like you're in the flow and usually what I'll do is I have a script off to the side, like word by word.
You word by word every script?
Every script. So every word I say is carefully thought out and planned. Because like what I do when I do a script, I'll write it out. I'll take a 10-minute break. Or like I'll go to the gym or something. And then I come back and I read the script out loud as though I'm saying it for a video. Because sometimes you'll write something and it sounds good, but then you'll read it back and you're like, well, I've reused this word too often, so let me find a different word to say here that means the same thing. Or this sentence is kind of repetitive, so I edit basically my speech by speaking it out loud, and like I'll just delete things, or if something isn't clear, I'll go and I'll clarify it. But yeah, so I speak it out loud. And then that way, by the time I film it, I've already spoken through the entire thing myself. I know it flows well, and I just got to say it, and I got to deliver it. So what I do is, like, if the camera's here, I'll have my phone, like, off to the side, like, you can't see it.
Right.
But I'll memorize a paragraph, or I'll memorize, like, 1 to 5 sentences that I want to say, and I'll just repeat it back to the camera. So
and look at the script, do it again.
Yeah, so there's never, like, a teleprompter or anything, but, like, and it sounds better that I memorize it, because then I speak it sometimes in my own words. It's not always, like, word by word,
right?
But I'll be able to say it naturally in a way that like it sounds like I'm talking.
Right. No, that's amazing, dude. Like, I think I use bullet points mainly, but very much the same. Like, I'll read a bullet point, I'll look at it, I'll say okay, then I'll freestyle the bullet point, look at the next bullet point, freestyle. And I found for me, I tried to use the teleprompter one time, and it was so fake. Like, I was just like a news anchor.
Yep.
And I'm like, dude, just give me the bullet points and I'll speak it in my own words.
You got to practice using the teleprompter.
It's hard.
Yeah. So Kevin used to use a teleprompter, and I couldn't even tell because of how good he was.
Yeah.
And I was
Kevin
shocked.
could be on CNBC.
Yes. but Kevin could go either way, which is unique, because I've seen Kevin do his unscripted videos where he literally just records and talks for 20 minutes, and it's perfect. But I've also seen him with some videos do the teleprompter. I can't tell the difference because he's that good at the teleprompter that it's just practice.
Yeah.
But you can't tell.
We got to spend a whole day together. Maybe, I don't know, this was like a month or two ago.
I remember when he came to visit. Yeah.
So he came to visit, and I showed him some flips and some rentals and my mountain where I'm building my house. And just seeing him free float. Like, we didn't have an agenda. It was just like, hey, you want to freestyle this? Yep. All right, me too. Let's do it. And then it came out good.
Yeah.
So
I love that video, by the way.
Thank you, man.
Really good.
It was a good video. Kevin's he's a nut, dude.
Yeah.
He's funny. All right, as we wrap up, dude, I got one final question for you.
Yeah.
Obviously, you love YouTube. You're doing exactly what you want to do. You just walked us through that entire thought process. But if you were to stop doing YouTube today, what would you be doing?
That's a great question. I like that a lot. I'm not exactly sure yet because I couldn't physically like do nothing.
Right.
And I can't just relax. Like, I'd always love to be working on something. I love the reef aquarium that I have. I don't know how much more I could tinker with it though. I don't know why, but lately, and I brought up the music thing, but lately, I've thought about doing music.
Really?
And I know,
Do you play? What do you do?
Yeah. I played the piano since I was a kid. Drums have been the
You got that
thing
big baby grand, right? Or is it a
Yeah.
full grand?
It's full grand.
Full grand, right?
Yeah, 7'4".
Yeah.
It looks small in that room though.
Yeah.
But I would love, and this is why I actually mentioned the designer. I wanted to turn that garage into another studio, but like I wanted to put a drum set in there, grab a guitar, get a keyboard in there with a bass, and make music.
Have a legit
so-
garage band.
Right, like the actual garage band. But like I look at like Dave Grohl being able to play everything himself, and I really admire that. Or like 9 Inch Nails, where he does it all himself. But like I don't know. So I think that would be if I were to stop doing YouTube, I'd probably go full time in music and just I don't know. And that's why I was mentioning like the TikTok thing. But not that
You know what? I retract what I said about TikTok. Your
Yeah.
viral TikToks are going to be your music career, dude.
yeah, I mean,
You're going to
but-
change your bio to musician,
yeah,
not YouTuber.
But like I think how cool would that be to transition from like finance to music, like two totally opposite sides of the spectrum. But part of me thinks it would also be really cool to go full circle, because in high school I wanted to be a musician in high school. Like I played the drums and I was in a band, and I decided not to pursue the band. It was the toughest thing ever, because I was afraid of not making enough money to be able to pursue that career. And
Right.
I remember like that just seeing we'd play shows on like the Sunset Strip in LA, and seeing these fantastic musicians. Like they were so talented, but they were like living in their vans.
Yeah.
And they had nothing to fall back on. And they were the best. Like these are musicians who like I would look up to and be like, oh my God, like how are you that good? Even some of the best musicians who are like touring, I was always worried about the financial stability. Like if you're not that top 0.0001% of drummers, let's say, you got to get another job.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be in a position where it's like, sure, I'm drumming, but that comes at the sacrifice of like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to provide for myself.
Yeah. Well, I
So
mean,
I-
the cool
yeah.
thing is now you can, if you choose to go that path,
Right.
So,
yeah, so that would be a path I would take. But like, as much as I love music, I also love business. So,
I love
like,
making money.
So, but that's the thing. It's like I wouldn't just be making music to like goof around, but I would make music that I feel that would do well commercially, or that would do well on TikTok, or that would do well. Like I couldn't just be like, oh, I'm gonna make a funk band because that's what I like
That's my
playing
bet,
to.
yeah.
I would make music that I think like this would be something that people could use in their TikToks or
Yeah. I love that, dude. Have you ever mentioned that on any
No.
of your shows?
actually no. I've
You
never
guys heard
mentioned
it
that.
here first, man.
You did.
So
You did. Like I really look like Zed.
I think that
Zed was a perfect example who did the Squid Games remix.
I haven't seen that. I'll
Yeah.
have to check it out.
It blew up from, I believe it was from TikTok, but he posted this Squid Games remix.
Yeah.
And it's really good. Just
Yeah.
listen to it. It's
I'm
hypey.
gonna.
And now
I
everyone
already
uses it
know
on TikTok.
our thumbnail now and our title. Graham Stephan's gonna become a musician.
Let's not jinx it. Let's not get ahead. It'll be
He's
something.
gonna be a rock star.
It'll be something where if it happens, if not,
Yeah.
if not. But yeah, in the back of my mind, I think that would be cool. But I wouldn't give up YouTube for that. That I want to build out the studio, because I'm always just like, hey, if it happens, it happens. But just like transitioning from real estate to YouTube, I would be doing music on the side, and it would just purely be a side thing. If it takes off, great.
Well, I think.
But
Yeah, I think you could do it for fun. And, if you wanted to put it on your TikTok because you're not really, serious about TikTok compared to your YouTube channel, like, I think that's a great place to put it. It's funny. I talk a lot about, well, I don't talk a lot about crypto, but I like NFTs and crypto. But, when I post stuff on my main channel or my Instagram, people don't really care about crypto.
Yeah.
But I know Twitter is like huge on crypto. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to post like all my thoughts on crypto and NFTs on Twitter. And by the way, guys, follow me on Twitter, Ryan Pineda Show. I don't even have 1,000 followers, but I'm just like, I don't really care what happens.
Yeah.
And it's a different thing. So I think that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Well, cool, dude. Just want to say, dude, appreciate you coming in. This was the earliest podcast we've ever done. And for the 7 a.m. for the one and only Graham Stephan.
Thanks,
so
man.
Guys, make sure you, I'm sure everyone's subscribed to your channel, but if not, make sure you go subscribe. We will link to it down below. And if you guys liked this video, Graham, why don't you tell them what to do?
You got to destroy the like button. Just do it. Just smash it. Hit the notification bell. Where's this going to be posted? Your main channel?
This one's going to be on YouTube.
Okay.
Or on the second channel, Ryan Pineda Show.
Okay.
And yeah, guys, we'll link to this from the main channel as well. So we'll have some clips there. So
Cool.
subscribe.
And like. And notification bell.
There we go.
And add you on Twitter.
And add me on Twitter. I need to get over 1,000 followers.
And download the Hungry Bowl. Download the Hungry Bowl app. It's a free app.
Yes.
It just aggregates. Oh, not aggregate. It's we spend a lot of time writing a newsletter a day. So
Dude,
it's 5 topics.
how did you forget to mention that with your businesses?
Too early. That's how.
Download the Hungry Bowl app. That's a big one he's working on. So we'll link to that.
You'll get the inside scoop. So just download it. It's totally free.
Cool.
It's just information, so you'll be happy with it.
I love it.
Cool.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching.
Cool.
Peace.
See ya.
Thanks for watching The Ryan Pineda Show. If you want to work with me, head over to ryanpineda.com. You can find my courses, coaching programs, and upcoming events. We also have free resources you can download, so head over to ryanpineda.com.